Well, howdy, folks. Let's take a look at the idea of equality in humans. Uh, there are those of us who insist everyone is equal. There's cliches that would lead us to believe everyone is equal. We're all equal in the eyes of God. Well, let's take God out of the picture here. I don't tend to speak for some kind of God entity. But let's take a look at what equality does exist with humans and what equality doesn't exist. I don't believe equality is natural and exists across the face of all humanity. We're not equal. Some people will say we are, but let's take a look. In what way are we equal? We all have similar needs. Similar needs. One obvious thing is we all breathe oxygen. We all need liquid, water. We all need to try to stay cool if it's 120 degrees out. We all need to try to stay warm if it's 10 degrees out. There are things that make us equal. Just like two earthworms appear to be equal. The reality of earthworms, or say two similar insects being equal, is so much easier to acknowledge than equality amongst an advanced species such as humans. If you get more advanced in the earthworm or the insect and you start looking at, say, the mammals, maybe the fishes, the birds, you're going to find more equality amongst these other species. But what about humans? We've already made note of in what ways we are equal in our needs. But what happens when you factor in people's accomplishments, abilities, what people do with their lives? This is what sets us apart from the rest of all the animals on the planet. Our abilities and what we do with them. Our ways of thinking. How we treat other people. We have to factor in everything about what it means to be a human if we're going to start making claims of equality amongst all humans. And I say that equality does not exist across the board with all humans. It just doesn't exist. It's plain and simple to realize that a doctor who has helped save hundreds or thousands of lives is not equal to the guy who just robbed your house, to the guy who just beat the living crap out of you, to the guy who just killed somebody. Are they equal? I'd hate to be someone who thinks they're equal. Unless you want to just say they're equal in the fact that they both need oxygen, they both need water, but they're not equal in who they are as human beings. It's as plain and simple as that. I don't know what kind of mindset would try to enforce the idea of equality amongst humans. I think it's wrong. I think we have to be careful how we judge other people. Sometimes we force in a lack of equality on people because in doing so, it tries to elevate ourselves. Some of the ways this is done is with the various isms. The isms are really a bad thing. Racism. Trying to say someone isn't equal because of a race. or what religion they are, or nationality. These are some of the arguments that try to be used by those who want to insist there is equality, that everyone is equal, because they can point at these isms and describe and discuss how wrong they are. So therefore we must do away with all the isms and any argument to the contrary that humans are not equal. But I maintain they're not equal. If you get rid of all of the bad ways of comparing humans that are not accurate in getting to the core of each individual, and if you can look objectively, which is hard for us to do, but if you can look objectively at people, then some of the most obvious things will become quite easy to see. The doctor who saved hundreds of people is not equal to the murderer. Now, those are two extremes. I think the bulk of humanity is neither some great philanthropist or some great healer or some horrid mass murderer or thief or violent person. So we're kind of riding between these two extremes. And still, there's things between these two extremes that make some people more elevated in certain aspects of what they do. I think it's wrong to treat everyone as if they're equal, except for the most basic things about all of us that we do have in common. That is what causes us to appear equal. But we have to go beyond that, because the human experience allows for the polarity of good and bad. We have to acknowledge it. What are your opinions on this?